Brentford 3, Manchester United 1, and it is yet another embarrassing result for Ruben Amorim's side. And there's just so many question marks over this team at the moment. And I'm here to get into one of them in this video. I mean, this comes after the game. Ruben Amorim said it's always the same. When we win, it's not the system, and when we lose, it's the system. I understand that. And listen, I understand how it can be frustrating when everything is going back to the system. It feels like since he came to the club, he was playing free at the back, and it was immediately, every time something went wrong, it was the system. But at some point, you've got to acknowledge and admit that there's problems in this system. And one of the biggest ones that I think, and I want to speak about, is the role of these players playing as the wide centre-backs. I would argue that these guys are the most important players in Amorim's team. And we saw last week in the little bit at the start of the game and throughout that game against Chelsea, even though it was 10 players, that Matthias de Ligt in that right-sided zone, he was playing really well, and that helped United. But the problem is the demands placed on those two players, and I think it's too much to ask of them, especially the type of players that you're playing there. So I think this is just quite simply the three main things expected of them. They're expected to jump in the press because United are always a man down in this midfield area. Most teams play with three, so Fernandes and Ugarte are a man down. If the ball is progressed down the right, de Ligt has to join. If it's progressed down the left, Shaw has to join. That's probably the biggest thing for those players. And ball progression. Now, this is the thing which gets me, is because we don't, at least from my point of view, it doesn't seem like we're progressing through these players, mainly because Ugarte can't really do it, and we're not really choosing to use Bruno much. And this is a situation that I saw quite a lot in this game. So let's say that United are set up like this, Dallow's moved forward and Buemo's there, Ugarte's a bit further forward. Bruno Fernandes, and let me repeat, Bruno Fernandes is the man who's dropping into this space to receive the ball, so then he can pass the ball to de Ligt. So he brings a player in. I felt like I saw this several times in that Brentford game, that Bruno would drop into the space, he'd wait for a press to come in, and then play in Matthias de Ligt to run forward onto the ball, who then has the responsibility of playing Dallow, playing into Mbeumo, and he's basically the progressor of the play. And I'm not really too bothered about 3 at the back, 4 at the back, but profiling players is the most important thing, and it just is starting to seem a little bit confusing why someone like Bruno Fernandes is facilitating someone like de Ligt to create and make danger in the final third. And going back to this, I think then they also have to cover the wing backs. So you think they've got, as a wide centre back in Ruben Amorim's system, you've got to make sure that you jump in the press every single time the ball's played on your side, because your midfielders are overrun otherwise. You've got to jump. Then you've also probably got the most important role in possession in the team as well. Like, all of United's progression comes through those flanks, through those wide centre-backs pushing forward and then trying to link up with the wing-backs or the number 10s. Even with de Ligt, we're seeing that he's not just making those passes, or whoever's playing that position. He's overlapping, he's getting into forward spaces, and whoever else plays there does that as well. Like, they've got such an important role in possession, but then the wing-backs are also high up, so they've got to go into midfield, progress the ball, and also cover these wide spaces over here. And listen, those Brentford goals, some of them were individual mistakes, and some of the goals across the season, the defence has looked shaky. It's not looked good enough. Poor mistakes. But it just comes to my head that are those two players in particular, and then, I mean, we're not even getting into the fact that the middle centre-back sometimes has to step into midfield, etc. Like, I mean, I'm not really seeing that as much as we were beforehand now, but there's a lot of responsibility on these players. And yes, obviously, I know some people will be going, well, yeah, they're Manchester United players, yeah, they're Premier League players, they're supposed to do a lot, they're supposed to be able to progress the play, to defend wide areas, etc. But I just don't think you're getting enough. You're getting enough of the right things out of the right players, and it's a concern for me, and that's why I don't think it's an impossible role. Might be a little bit clickbait in the title, but I think it's the most difficult role in United system, because a lot of people speak about the midfield too. That is the most difficult role because they are always overloaded, at least 3 players to 2. But the reason that Ruben Amorim is allowing that is because he expects this player to be able to do that while also doing so many other things on the ball, off the ball, because he's got to get back into the back line as well. He's got to cover the wing back, like I said. I don't know. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments below. Am I expecting too little? I don't know. I just think that it's a difficult role for many centre-backs to play. Many full-backs can play there. You see Mazraoui. I think that's the problem. You look, Mazraoui, if he comes into that role, he's perfect at progressing the play. He's really good at that. He's got decent recovery pace, but he's not a centre-back. So then when you're into your box and you're defending deep, are those mistakes going to happen more because you've not got really a natural centre-back playing in I don't know. It's a complicated one to understand. It feels like there's it feels like there's solutions for this to be a lot better than it is. But I think we've all accepted that Amorim is willing to die on his sword and just keep doing this. But I mean, I just still don't understand why something like this cannot be tested. And you've got the 3 midfielders. You're maybe expecting a little bit extra from these players on the flank, but then you've got the midfield solidity. You could probably play Bruno Fernandes in this role and then play Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo together. And then these defenders won't be expected to progress the play as much because you've got a bit more of a base in midfield who can help. They will still be expected to hold the width and defend those wing backs probably a little bit more. But then as well, when they have the pressure they can still step up into the middle, but that then creates a midfield 4 instead of a midfield 3 against 3. It feels like there's solutions, but it's difficult to work out what Amorim's planning to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the game. I don't really think United deserved much out of it. It was a poor performance. I will add, how on earth is it not a red card? I hate complaining about referees when we lose because it just seems like a excuse. But how is that not a red card? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's good to be back. Hopefully we'll be uploading some more on YouTube soon, but we'll wait and see for United to hopefully improve.